Who is the most dominant champion in UFC history? The first name that pops into your mind, I am sure, is Khabib Nurmagomedov. And in fact, in the GOAT conversation, really the only case you can make for Khabib Nurmagomedov is the fact that he was the most dominant fighter in UFC history. He has the most 10-8 rounds of any fighter in UFC history, and I believe even in boxing, like across all combat sports, he was the most dominant. That is the case. Never cut, never bled, never lost, 29-0. At the top of everybody's mind, in the name of dominance, it is Khabib. Case closed, period. That is all she wrote. However, I'm going to put an argument out there for you that Tom Aspinall could very well be on Khabib's tail in terms of dominance, right? So here's the reality, right? Obviously, Tom has a couple losses on his record. You know, obviously, Tom is not through his career yet. He hasn't faced his hardest challenge in Jon Jones. He is not the undisputed heavyweight champion right now. However, I do think right now, if you look at Tom's resume, you could make a case that he is incredibly dominant as well. And let me tell you why. Khabib is known for his dominance because he essentially mopped the floor with people for round after round after round after round. By the way, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, helps with the algorithm, helps grow the channel. Round after round after round, right? Like, you know, first round, second round, third round, there is, whether you're looking at the Michael Johnson fight, whether you're looking at his final fight against Gaethje, Conor, whoever he has fought, it has been just completely and utterly one-sided, right? No question about that. With Tom Aspinall, there hasn't even been an opportunity for it to be one-sided. That is how dominant he is. Because I believe there is maybe one time in his UFC career where he's made it outside of the first round. Otherwise, he is finishing people inside minutes, right? We saw the Pavlovich fight. We saw the Blades fight. Every single fight that he has had in the UFC, he has won inside the first round with, like, I believe the exception was at the beginning when he fought, damn, who did he fight? I think that was the only time that he didn't make it out of the first, or he got out of the first round and he beats him in the second, right? But other than that, it is all finishes, all finishes. Every single fight that he has been in, he has won via TKO or submission, and the reality is the only fight that he lost was a fluke where he tore something in his knee after throwing one kick, right? And so I know that's going to be a blemish on his record. I know that's kind of an L inside the UFC. I know that's kind of going to be like, but he wasn't so dominant because he had a loss, right? Sure, I guess. But to like the hardcore fans, when all is said and done, if Tom keeps winning, right? That's a big if, right? If he fights Jon Jones and KOs him or TKOs him, submits him, any of these number of things, then I think we're going to start having this conversation and taking it more seriously. I really do. That's a big if, right? There is a funny feeling inside of me that feels like Jon Jones is somehow going to walk through Tom Aspinall the same way he did against Cyril Gane. I have that feeling somehow. Now, I do get it, like that is a much taller task just because of Tom's size, right? Like Tom has to cut down to make the weight limit, right? Tom is at least 20 to 30 pounds heavier than Jon Jones compared to Cyril Gane, who might have been, I think, 2-3 pounds heavier, if that. So it's like, those are two different beasts right there, right? And of course, Tom has such a in-depth jiu-jitsu and grappling background that I don't see Jon Jones actually, walking through him, right? If he does, if Jon Jones does, this conversation's over, right? But if he doesn't, if Tom manages to get a win, whether it's by decision or whether it is by submission or knockout or any of these things, right? I think we can start having that conversation about Tom's dominance, right? He can be put in that conversation next to Khabib, right? And I know, like, okay, it's not, I don't know if you calculate it the same way, right? Like, in your mind, can you make the case for dominance when it's just boom, out? I don't know, right? Because it's not as though you are going tit for tat with someone. It's not as though you are, just completely ragdolling them and they're doing everything they can to stop you, but they just can't, right? Because that's what was happening with Khabib. Everybody knew what he wanted to do, and they just couldn't stop it, right? Everybody, if you've ever taken a jiu-jitsu class, try to keep someone down who's trying to get out. It's hard, right? Try to get up when someone's trying to keep you down. That's hard too. You know what I mean? But so that is very clear dominance. And I'm just wondering from a language perspective, can we have that conversation about Tom? Right? Can we have that conversation that Tom is extremely dominant? Because he, like I said, once. He's made it out of this first round once. If that's not dominance, I don't know what is, right? I think he has the record for the fastest collective fight time out of anyone in their career at this point. Again, don't quote me on that. I haven't completely checked, but I think that's there, right? So, again, you've got this big question mark coming up with Jon Jones. And that's going to be an enormous test. And like I said, I do have some funny feeling that Jon Jones is going to manage to pull this off. But if Tom Aspinall can get through Jon Jones, then you have to have a look and be like, okay, who else is there in the heavyweight division, right? Cyril Gane, who barely made it through Volkov, right? Who else is there for him to compete with, right? Almeida? Nope. I doubt he's losing there. Cyril Gane, again, if he implements any type of grappling, Cyril Gane is toast. Plus, of course, there's the KO power. Who else? Who else? Jon Jones even said that Curtis Blaydes would be the guy to beat Tom Aspinall, and that fight lasted less than 3 minutes. So, if you want to make a case for dominance, obviously, clearly, Khabib defined what is dominance when it comes to MMA and the UFC. And right now, he's currently, if you are putting him in anywhere in the top 5 for greatest of all time, you are using dominance to put his name there. And what I would argue with you is that Tom Aspinall might be in that conversation of dominance. If not now, very soon. Because his fight time is the shortest in the UFC right now. And he beats Jon Jones, then there's a really good chance that he's clearing that division multiple times and will be the heavyweight GOAT. So, let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy here? Or do you think Tom Aspinall could actually become, one of the people that we talk about when we refer to dominance as a factor for why they're the greatest of all time? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you next time.